Hey guys, what's going on? Mizu back here with another video. Today we're going to be covering a tutorial video on two separate flicks. It's called an advanced flick tutorial. Essentially, the two flicks that we're going to cover are the reverse 45 flick and the breezy flick. The breezy flick does consist of a musty flick as well, so you guys will, just as a byproduct, learn how to musty flick just from the breezy flick. So you'll learn two flicks in one with that one, and I'm also going to show you guys the reverse 45 flick. So the two flicks I'm going to be showing you guys look like this. You're going to have a reverse 45 flick that looks like that. Obviously, it's not the most powerful, but I'm just giving you guys a quick example, and then you're going to have a breezy flick that looks like this. If I can hit it. Not the most powerful, but essentially it's going to go up a little bit more. It's kind of hard to replicate on the fly. In free play, you don't have very much momentum. But I'm going to show you guys how to do those two flicks in Rocket League right now. Alright, so the first component of the video that we're going to cover is the reverse 45 flick. I'm actually going to be leaving a time on the screen right now. If you want to skip to learn how to do a breezy flick, click the timer. Go to the time that's on the screen right now. My editor is going to see what time of the video I'll be covering the other one, so go to that time if you want to learn how to do that. But for now, we're going to be covering the reverse 45 flick. So essentially what you're going to want to do, and I'm going to say this because it's very important, if you're going to learn how to flick the ball, in my opinion, it is very important to do it in free play, because in free play, it's essentially you have to pop the ball up to yourself. So it's going to practice catching the ball, getting it under control, and then doing the motion. And it also makes it very simple because you don't really have any spin on the ball. So the ball isn't like going side to side at all. It's just very still and very simple to execute the flick. It's not going from side to side. So it makes it very simple to just focus on getting the motion and then catching the ball yourself as well. So we are going to be covering the two flicks in free play here. So essentially what a reverse 45 flick is it is almost like a backwards flick where you go like that and backflip. Imagine you're doing that flick where you're just getting the ball, you're doing a 180 and then backflipping. That's essentially the motion that you want to be able to do. So I do highly recommend getting the ball and being able to do that. If you can do that, this is going to be very simple for you. So first of all, just practice getting the ball, getting the ball near the front of your car. And then what you want to do when the ball's near the front of your car is you want to jump, do a 180 like this, and once you get to this position where you're in a 180, just backflip, okay? So we're going to jump, 180, backflip. That's essentially what you're going to want to do. And once you're able to get that down, essentially what you're going to do is you're going to jump, and once you get to this position, a 45-degree angle rather than a 90-degree angle, you're going to backflip, okay? So we're going to do that, and we're going to incorporate it with a little bit of minor adjustments, and that comes with feeling it out after doing it over and over. You kind of got to feel it. So it's not directly to the side and then flicking like that. It's not exactly that. It's a little bit of minor adjustments. So here I'll show you guys. It's kind of like that a little bit. You kind of get under the ball and scoop it. And depending on how the ball is, you're going to angle your car differently every time. So there's not like a set, you have to do this and then backflip every time. That's not how it works. So you kind of got to, depending on how the ball is, be able to manipulate your car in a way that you can get around it and be able to flick the ball up. So it's definitely, at its core, you jumping, turning 45 degrees like this, and then back flipping. That's what you're gonna want to do. And little tidbits actually kind of cool for practicing your recoveries. If you actually go like this and then back flip to get the flick off, what you can do is if you do a speed flip in reverse with your flip cancel, if you don't know how to do that, go watch my video on speed flipping. Imagine that mechanic, but reverse. You can actually recover through your flick in case you miss. So it's actually very important in a 1v1. If I do this, I flick the ball and then I speed flip through it. Now I've recovered after my flick. You guys see that? If you speed flip, essentially after you flick the ball, you can recover, which is kind of neat. I think it's kind of cool being able to do that. You just got to be able to flip cancel after you flick it. But yeah, so essentially I'm going to turn 90 or 45 degrees and I'm going to flick it. I'm really focused on the movement right now, so my flicks aren't the best, but when I'm fully focused on getting the flick off, it is a pretty powerful technique. So again, you're going to go to the side and you're just going to flick like that. The more momentum that you have with your car and with the ball, like the faster you're traveling, the quicker this flick is. This is one of the fastest flicks in the game. It takes a while to get it off, so if you're getting early challenged, is definitely a big weakness to this flick. So every flick has its advantages and disadvantages. This flick is very weak to the early challenge. However, if you're able to get this flick off, I've scored flicks like this at 75 plus miles an hour from like halfway out. Definitely a very powerful flick. I'll show you guys. If you take the ball over here and I'm able to get the ball control, for example, right here. I'll actually set up like this and towards the net. If I go like this and start getting some speed on the ball, how much faster I can flick the ball. You guys see how fast that one is, and that wasn't even me at Supersonic. Like, it wasn't even Supersonic when I flicked the ball, and I scored it from 66 miles an hour from halfway out. 66 from a flick. It's a very powerful technique. So again, guys, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get behind the ball. You want to practice doing the full 180 and then back flipping. Once you get that flick down, you're going to want to take the ball here near the front of your car. Getting it near the nose is very important. If you get it too high on your car, it's going to look like this. It's going to be very hard to do anything with it. You don't want the flick to do that. You want it to go more on a line, like a line drive in baseball. You don't want it to go super high like that. That's not exactly what you want. You want it more to be a line drive. So you want to get that speed, that momentum. And once you start getting fast, then you want to bang it. You just want to get around the ball and you want to backflip it. I do highly recommend, this is what I did and this is what a lot of people do to learn it. I can, for example, do a flick to the other side. I can go like this and flick the ball. However, I'm not as consistent and as powerful with that side as I am with this side, for example, right? So I do highly recommend practicing one side and getting really good at that and then start working on the other side later. But in actuality, you only really need one side to be able to do it because you can manipulate it if you're good enough at going either direction. I can get this, even though I'm getting around the ball, to be like in the middle or on the left side. It's hard to get to the right side, to be honest. I can do it, but I can go extremely left or I can go pretty central and get power on both. So I do highly recommend learning how to do this flick on one side. I can do the flick on the other side as well, but do recommend learning from one side. So I'll try to give you guys both sides. For example, that's the other side. You get around it. You see how I kind of air-rolled my car a little bit to give it more of an angle. I can flick my nose like that. I'm not going straight like this and flicking it. I'm kind of like air rolling it a little bit to get like more under it. I don't even know how to describe it. It's very hard. It's more of a feel thing, but it's just the consistent repetition of doing that over and over. That's what you want to practice. I literally did this for hours on end almost every day. You just go up to the ball, take it, flick. Like, that's what you want to do over and over and over and over until you start learning it and getting it down. Very good practice. So that's going to be it for the reverse 45 flick component of the video. We're now going to get into the breezy flick component of the video. So now, guys, we are in the breezy flick component of the video. If you guys skipped here or if you've watched the whole thing to get to this point, thanks for watching. We're going to talk about the breezy flick now. So the breezy flick is definitely a lot harder than the reverse 45 flick. It's a very powerful and effective flick in delaying your opponent. So the reason the breezy flick is so powerful is because not only does it get a lot of power on the ball, not only does it change direction and go very high very, very quickly, it delays your opponent quite a bit, and you're able to flick the ball from a higher, more elevated point. So if you get good enough where the ball's already in the air, you can catch it in the air and do the breezy flick, which is something that's super advanced. I don't recommend learning it unless you're at least Supersonic Legend. But essentially, the breezy flick is a foundation for you to be able to contort your car with a tornado spin, a musty flick, and be able to flick the ball in the air. So you learn a lot of different things that will help you in Rocket League just from learning a breezy flick. In my opinion, the point of learning the breezy flick isn't to breezy flick. It's to understand how to manipulate your car, and it will actually help you a lot with car control and ball control. In other aspects of Rocket League, you won't even understand until you get good at it. So let's break down the motion of the breezy flick, because this is a very advanced flick. Okay, so what we have to do here, and what the most important part is, you're not going to be able to do this flick unless you bind an air roll left or right button. You have to get a directional and bind it. So pick air roll left or air roll right now. Bind it if you don't have it bound. And if you don't know how to do that, go to the settings, go to controls, view and change bindings, go all the way down, air roll left and right here. Oh, it's air steer. Air roll left and right here. You want to bind it. So I use air roll left on circle. That's what I do. And essentially what you're going to want to do is you want to jump and press the air roll left button. And once you're able to do this and land on your wheels, you're going to incorporate pushing the analog stick in the opposite direction of your directional air roll. Okay? It's very important you're pushing the analog stick depending on the directional air roll that you use. It sounds more complicated than it is, okay? So for example, I use air roll left. So my joystick is going to press which way? Right. Okay, so my joystick, look at it now, I'm pushing it to the right because I use air roll left, right? If you use air roll right, you're gonna push the joystick to the left side. And what this is gonna do, because your car is spinning in a flat spin while also air rolling, is it's gonna cause you to tornado spin. And what that looks like is it goes from this as just air roll, or this as just turning in a flat spin to the right. It looks like this now. It's a tornado spin. Get this motion down. And once you can consistently do this motion every single time, the next step to breezy flicking is once you get this motion and your wheels are facing the camera, what you want to do is let go of the air roll button, but continue to flat spin in the direction that you're already spinning in. So what that's going to look like is you get here and essentially you're gonna let go right here, and you're gonna let go of your air roll. Okay, guys, we get to this point, we're letting go of our air roll. We get to this point, letting go of our air roll. Now I'm gonna continue to hold my analog stick, and you're gonna see what that looks like. Ready? I don't have enough momentum. Hold on, I have to be moving. That's what it's gonna look like. So you're gonna jump and then let go of your air roll, and it's gonna make your nose hit the ground. Okay? We don't actually want our nose to hit the ground, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna boost just as we do it. So we get a little bit more height. And essentially what that's going to do is you want to start practicing this motion. Do the tornado spin and let go of your air roll. Essentially what you got to think about it is an easy timing thing for me to remember in my head, is the second you let go of your air roll, tap the boost button, and it's going to allow you to get some more height. So it's going to look like that. And once you can get this motion down, the thing is that you guys don't realize is I still have my flip. So now I'm looking like that and I got my flip. So now we got to actually execute the flip. And what you got to learn is how to musty flick the ball at this point. So you've got the motion down. You're able to do this and get under the ball, right? Now what do you do to actually do it? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to do a musty flick. And essentially, if you don't know what a musty flick is, it's when your car is beyond a 90-degree angle. So you have to think of the 90 degrees as like this. It's with the ground, it's 90 degrees. This is a 90-degree angle. You want your nose to be facing more towards my goal than the other team's goal. So my nose needs to be facing more towards my side. What that looks like is if my nose is more towards my side and then I backflip, because I'm actually past the 90 degrees, if I backflip, it'll go forward. And what that allows you to do is a musty flick. Like that. You guys see that? So essentially, you're going to push your stick back to go like this, essentially, almost on your stomach, but not quite. You want to look like that, and then you want to backflip, and it's going to cause you to musty flick. What happens is if you don't go past 90 degrees, and you go like here, for example, and you backflip, you're just going to backflip. Okay? You have to go all the way past 90 degrees and then do that. If you can get this motion down every single time, what that's going to allow you to do, if you can musty flick like this every time, and then combine it with that, what it actually does, this motion already puts you past 90 degrees. So all you need to do is backflip now. You go like this, all you need to do is backflip. You don't need to push back at all, just backflip. You go like this, backflip. Practice this motion. Tornado spin, let go, boost, half flip. Or boost, backflip. Tornado spin, let go, 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 boost, backflip. Tornado spin, boost, backflip. Exactly. That's what you want to do over and over. Just keep doing that in your head. Once you can consistently get that motion down, which is the hardest part, by the way, getting that motion consistently down, now you got to do it all again with the ball, which makes it 20 times harder. So I told you it'd be a hard mechanic, but if you can get it down, your car control is going to go through the roof. So essentially what you're going to want to do here is we want to get the ball at the very front of our car here, because if we get it too high up as we go to jump, it's actually going to send the ball even higher and we won't be able to reach it. You want to be able to get under the ball and scoop it back up, so the ball's got to be decently low to the ground, okay? So what we're going to do here, we're going to do this, do the motion, and then we're going to breezy flick it. It's so much harder to do the breezy flick when I'm explaining it, but if I don't say anything, it should be decently easy. Wasn't the greatest. It is hard to do it in free play, but I highly recommend doing it in free play because it practices catching the ball and actually doing the breezy. I haven't practiced these too much recently, so I'm not the greatest, but that's what it's supposed to look like when you do it. Don't worry if it hits the crossbar. It is a good practice to get that ball higher than what you want. You just got to keep doing this over and over, and maybe if I keep doing it, I'll get my consistency back. It may take a couple attempts, but you want to keep doing the motion over and over, and once you get the motion down, then start doing it at the ball. This should be a good one. There we go. Watch the replay on this one. I had good control over the ball. It was near the hood of my nose, but it wasn't too low. It's perfect height. I jump, do the motion, get around it, musty flick. There you go. And because I'm so close to the net, it doesn't seem very good, but when you have more momentum and you do it from further back, that ball is being sent at 70 miles an hour at least. So very effective flick. For sure, I'm starting to get my consistency back. We'll watch this replay as well. So you will have noticed I get to the ball here, get a decent spot right there at the front of my nose. I do the angle, do the whole motion, and I get under the ball and I flick it. So I'm going to show you guys a replay from directly behind now. If I can get this one down. That was a crappy one. Do a better one for you guys. There we go. That was a solid one. We're going to watch it from directly from behind the camera angle. Let's watch it here. There we go. There we go. So you guys are learning now how to do the musty flick, and once you get that down, you can do the breezy flick. The motion is the hardest part. To be able to do the motion and not hit the ball away from you and keep the ball close and then actually execute it is unbelievably hard, and it takes a long time, but you're going to get it down. It's something that's going to be excruciatingly hard, unlike the reverse 45 flick, to get down and be able to use it in game. But push yourself. You're going to be glad you did it. You're not really going to use a breezy flick in a game, but what it's going to allow you to do is be able to, for example, start contorting your car in ways that you never knew was possible before. So for example, when I started getting breezy flicks down, all of a sudden doing like musty flicks and stuff off the wall and breezy flicks off the wall and off the ceiling was an option for me. And to be able to have an option where you can send the ball at a ridiculous speed and an angle that no one expects at a high level in Rocket League is a very powerful tool to have in your arsenal. Like for example, flip resets and stuff like that. Flip reset musty flicks, flip reset breezy flicks. Those were options now. You're not very often going to see yourself breezy flicking in a threes game from the ground. But when you got that time and space in the air, because usually you have more time and space in the air than the ground in Rocket League 3v3, you're going to start noticing that you're able to do many more things with the ball that you didn't notice you could before. So definitely a viable mechanic to learn. It's very hard to get down, but once you guys get it down, I highly recommend just grinding with it. You'll get it down and it'll be something you're very happy that you learned. So I'm hoping that this tutorial helped you guys in how to get better at flicking, reverse 45 and breezy flicking. Musty flicks were a byproduct of that as well. Obviously, if you can breezy flick, you should be able to do this and musty flick. However, I haven't practiced musty flicks, so my setup for the musty flick isn't the greatest. I can do a backwards one like this, but I can't really forwards it because I haven't practiced it too much. And it's all just practice, man. It's all just practice. Mine are very weak, but breezy flicking for me is easy because I practiced the setup a million times. It is a lot easier for me. However, can't do it all the time on free play. More effective when I have the ball like this for sure. Be able to get a run up and set it up how I want. That makes it way easier to get it off every time. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I was able to teach you guys a thing or two about flicks. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments below. I do check the comments for the videos. I know this is an extremely advanced tutorial. Not many of you guys are going to be able to follow through with it, but there's probably some questions you guys have. So make sure to drop it in the comments below. I'll be reading them. For now, I'll see you guys later in the next video. Reminder, we upload Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on YouTube and Facebook. So definitely make sure to go check the videos out, guys. I love y'all, and peace out for now. If you guys are enjoying the content, which clearly you guys are if you made it through this far into the video, consider doing the things that are free to support the channel, which would be following, subscribing, liking, or commenting on the video. I really do appreciate it so much. Every single thing that you guys can do to support the channel for free really does help me out a lot in being able to do this full time for you guys and give you guys content as my job. You guys are clearly enjoying the content if you made it this far through the video, so supporting the channel, allowing me to continue to make content for you guys to enjoy. All you have to do in return for that, to keep me able to do that for you guys, is just support the channel by hitting the subscribe, follow, like, and comment button. I do appreciate it a lot. Thank you guys.